Okay, terrific. Thank you. We're calling to order the town meeting study committee on March 16th. The time is 6:30,
36.
I'm sorry, 5:36. And let's open the meeting.
I'll make a motion to open the meeting.
Second, any discussion? Okay, all
All
in
in
favor?
favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, present is Jen Peterson, myself, Joe Demore, Alyssa Lee, and Patrick Molina.
Melina, close enough.
We knocked off a couple of vowels there. But anyways, we have an agenda, which I'd like to read the agenda out for the public in case they're not seeing or following a written. So we're going to approve the minutes. The second item is we're going to briefly discuss the town meeting study committee draft template related to the select board's GASC initiative, which we'll describe that when we go into the agenda. Third, we're gonna discuss briefly the bylaws that are affected by or may need to be modified to accommodate committee recommendations. And just so the public knows, the recommendations that we're talking about is whether or not we should move forward with electronic voting. Electronic voting is an electronic device that people will have in their hand so that they can vote privately and quietly at town meeting. And then the other issue that we're looking at is whether or not we may want to consider someday moving our town meeting over to a Saturday. So those are the two big mandates of the town meeting study committee. We've been engaged for a number of months in studying those two things. We've gathered a lot of data. We are in the process of compiling a report, not ready yet, but we certainly are ready to make some preliminary recommendations. The next item, we do have a survey. We have 421 respondents. This is the town meeting survey, not the survey that was done by Alyssa Lee through the Council on Aging, which was an excellent survey, which we happily, with her consent, used as a model. And it's a wonderful survey. I think we were able to solicit some good information from it. Not only, quantitative information, but also qualitative, what people felt about those two issues. So we'll present that at some point in the not too distant future. We're going to talk about electronic vendor interviews and information. If one of the key mandates for us is to examine the possibility of implementing an electronic device, well, it's going to cost us something, whether we buy them or rent them or lease them or some combination. And we have to go through the normal procurement process for the town. Implementation, should that be a recommendation that we finalize and it is implemented by the select board, would not be any sooner than 2027. So we're not going to rush to implement anything for this year's town meeting. So we're in the process of getting all this information, compiling a report. Tonight, within an hour, I'm going to present to the select board. I've been placed on the agenda by my request and with the consent of my committee here to make some preliminary recommendations, which we'll talk about, so that before I make them, I will get this committee's consent within the hour. The components of the initial report draft, I have the chapters. Jen wrote a chapter, Amelia wrote a chapter, Patrick wrote a chapter, Alyssa gave me chapter pieces. I've written some chapters, so I'll put it all together. So that's basically what we'll talk about there. The number 8 agenda item, time frame and method for initial recommendations. I think I just, suggested that. So let's open up with the meetings from the past, the February 9th, November 19th meeting, and the, what else? There was another one, wasn't there? For them, August, and what was the August?
13th.
August 13th.
Yeah.
Have you had an opportunity to look at the minutes? Any questions, any modifications that you'd like to make, anyone?
They were good.
Yeah.
Okay, so do I have a motion to approve minutes from our past 4 meetings?
So I think the thing is,
Go ahead.
we have to make sure that anybody who votes on the meeting minutes from a particular day was in attendance for the meeting. I think you were both at all the meetings.
I've been at all.
And I popped out during one of them. Which one was that? Thank you for that. I think it might be the most recent one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that was.
February 9th.
No, the one.
Earlier this month.
March 2nd?
Or did we not, we didn't end up meeting that?
Well, we didn't meet that.
Right, so it would have been that February.
was-
So the
Yeah.
February one is, yeah. you
February
had
9th,
another
yeah, because
meeting that
the
you
March
had.
meeting, we were not able to meet, just for disclosure, we were not able to meet. Our meeting space was not available, our technology was not available, so we had to abort the meeting and not actually, complete, even though it was posted. So our last meeting was, not in March, it was February 9th, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, then that's fine. Okay,
It was the February one,
all right.
so.
Well, so the February 9th one, I think. I'm sorry.
It's okay, no, this is fine, this is
Yeah.
important.
I think
So I'm
I
showing-
was there on
Yeah, I'm sure-
February 9th.
Yeah, I'm showing Emilio, Patrick, Jennifer, Alyssa, yeah,
There was one that I saw as I was looking.
yeah.
I'm sorry, just give me.
It's okay,
one second.
no problem. So February 9th, Joe, Alyssa, Jennifer, Patrick, and Amelia were there, because it says right there, right
Right.
on there.
You did leave
Ah,
early.
here it is. On November 19th, I left early.
Okay,
All right, so that, okay, all right. Okay, so let's move to approve the February 9, 2026 meeting minutes.
Sure,
anybody second that?
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
None?
And how do you vote, Jen?
Oh, aye.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay, all in favor?
Okay, very good. So
Those are-
February 9 meetings, those were approved.
Said, thank you.
So then let's do the November 19th. I will abstain because I missed part of the meeting.
All right.
So somebody should move to
I
approve them if
make-
they,
I- That we accept the minutes of the November 19th meeting.
Second?
How do you vote, Jen?
Aye.
Patrick,
abstain.
you can't abstain, you're abstaining?
Aye.
And I, say yes, so we'll, approve those
There.
minutes. Okay,
those
we're
those
gonna,
two, was there another meeting?
we're gonna abstain. We're gonna abstain,
It was
Patrick.
August.
It'll be the August meeting. I don't have that one. Yeah. I know that was sent by email.
Right, I remember that. I saw that too. I will make a motion to approve the August 16th.
Okay.
That sounds correct, yes.
Sure.
Okay. Any,
Give me a
is
second.
there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Okay, Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Patrick,
Aye.
Alice, Al, Alyssa, and myself, Joe. So that's unanimous.
Very good.
All minutes have been approved, and oh, by the way, I'll run the minutes, for the meeting tonight. I'll write the minutes. Okay, second agenda item, well, put it into, Patrick's, capable lap and tell us a little bit about, the select board's, government accountability initiative and so forth, and how that impacts us.
That was the one that, Elise.
Oh, sure. So, right. So the select board asked us to basically explain in short form what we, right, the committee charge, the purpose and scope, the membership, and, officers, meetings, responsibilities, reporting, general provisions, all these sorts of things that sort of define what this committee is versus all the other committees in town and all the boards. And so somebody who was, somebody from town who was just looking to see, well, what is the town meeting study committee exactly, could look in a very short and concise way and figure out what it is. Alyssa did a great job to sort of cull all the information into a very, very digestible two-sided document. And, I took a look at it and thought it really stated everything in each segment, 100% accurately. So I would, to the extent that's not already been approved, I would move to approve this draft of the town meeting study committee, charge, purpose and scope, membership, officers, meetings, responsibilities, reporting, and general provisions as the thing to which we will present the select board.
And this is presented in draft form.
I think it can be, I think we can agree that it's a final. I don't think, I wouldn't change a thing about it. I think it's done really well. I think
Okay.
it says exactly what we need to do. I don't think we need to make any additions or changes to it whatsoever. Certainly anyone else could have
I second that motion and.
Sure.
discussion. Do you?
Yeah, yeah, so it's our final draft, but
Mhm.
ultimately it's up to the board in case they wanted to modify
Oh,
it.
for sure.
But, okay,
That's fine.
yeah, I think it's really well done. I like it. I mean, I put some words together. It was a real nice team effort here, so
Great.
it worked out well. So just so the folks at home know what the heck we're talking about. This was not really originally part of our mandate or our charge, not a mandate, but a charge. But there is an effort underway in town where the government functions are being looked at and documented. And like Patrick said, it would be nice to have a public document that says, can I have
Yeah, of
that?
course.
That says, okay, for example, who or what is the town meeting study committee? And so committee charge, purpose and scope, membership, officers, meetings, responsibilities, reporting, general provisions. So by team effort, we created this document at the request of the select board that came in after we received our charge. So effectively, that increased our charge to this. And therefore, we just voted on this. This is our final draft. We think and we hope that they like it, and we hope that they'll accept it just the way it is. But of course, they do have discretion to not accept it or modify it. So thank you for that. Well done. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
So voting to accept it?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, myself, aye, unanimous. Patrick, I know you brought this up. Our next agenda item is bylaws affected by or need to be modified in anticipation that we may recommend something like electronic voting or Saturday. Do we need to make any changes to the bylaws?
So I think based on the fact that what our preliminary findings were that we are in favor of recommending electronic voting, or at least exploring the possibility of it and how that might work logistically, cost and things like that. There was no need to change any bylaw as far as I was aware for that. It seems like the Saturday move did not have the same support, and that
Okay.
this committee wasn't going to recommend changing it. So that was something that would need a bylaw change, but I don't think we should make a bylaw change for something that we're not going to recommend. So I
Okay,
don't believe any bylaws need to be changed for the things that I believe that we're going to recommend.
okay, good. Yeah, all right. Now, so to be clear, electronic voting, we don't need to make a bylaw change. If we recommend it to the select board and they agree to do it, we don't have to make a bylaw change. We don't have to go to town meeting. We don't have to put it on the ballot. It's just a select board decision. Yes, thank you for your work. We'll do it. We're gonna pay for it. We're gonna send out proposals.
For
On the
electronic-
Saturday morning, it's more complex.
Well, for the electronic voting, my memory is that the administrator, I'm sorry, the town moderator for the town meeting had the discretion to use electronic voting if it was in place, obviously.
If it was
So,
available,
right,
yeah.
if it was available. So it was up to the moderator to make that decision.
Yeah, you made that distinction. The town moderator doesn't have authority to compel the town to have electronic voting.
But if it does have,
if it does-
but if the town has electronic voting,
Then
the town moderator does have the discretion to say, we're gonna use it or not use it in a particular meeting.
And in the spirit of the bylaw, should there be some catastrophic electronic failure, the town moderator retains discretion during the meeting to stop using it and going back to the hand vote.
Yeah, I can't imagine that would be right.
Right.
There's nothing
Even if you have-
that would say that that's not okay.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Any questions? Nothing to vote on? No? Okay,
No.
great. We'll move on to the next. All right, so Amelia reported to us that he has 421 respondents on the survey. We have had an opportunity to listen to his presentation, which he's done in past meetings. He's a real strong data person, so we were able to get some good data that suggests with confidence, based on that survey, that moving forward with a recommendation to the select board for electronic voting is a good recommendation.
And likely to increase membership at the town meeting.
Oh.
Which is really what we're trying,
Thank you.
what we're pushing for.
So I mean, I was
That's
just
a good
using
point.
his report here, so projected gain, implementing electronic voting yields a possible net gain in attendance of 10%. On the flip side, risk assessment, the committee noted that it's highly favorable option with strong upside and very minimal risk of losing current consistent meeting attendees, reflecting only 1.67 potential loss.
And the numbers really are important. I think we've talked about this in past meetings. For me, the numbers, increasing the numbers is important, and that is a key thing.
Right.
But for me also, I'm hoping to see the town meeting be more appealing, more comfortable, more, people, just the comfort level, being able to vote privately, which is so normal at the ballot. It's something we can enjoy at town meeting. And I think for controversial issues, especially if it affects our neighbors, I think a lot of people would like to vote privately. We pull the curtain when we vote at the ballot. Why can't we do that conceptually at town meeting? So I'm hoping that the comfort level, the fun part of it, the making it more interesting, along with the changes that we've already made at town meeting with Rebecca last year, for example, suspending reading of the articles and projecting them on a giant screen. Now, if you bring that with electronic voting, we're really dramatically changing town meeting, really dramatically. And I think in a good way, in a way that it's more pleasing, more comfortable, more interesting to people, easier to participate with. So I think that's hopefully where we're heading with this. But the numbers are there. So I appreciate that. All right, any other thoughts about electronic voting, why we're doing it, why we think it's a great idea, and that we do have survey results that are supporting it?
I think it's super important that we ask the people in town what they think, and we banged on the table so many different ways to get their opinions.
Mhm.
And I think now that we've gotten, nearly 10% of town has responded to it, which is not nothing. And I think, that's about as good as we could get over the course of several months. And I think the will of the people is what really matters here, not necessarily what I personally would think. Not that I have a problem with electronic voting, but it's more about this is effectuating the will of the people of town, and we're here to help get those voices heard.
Mhm.
And so I think this committee's done a really good job in that regard, and I think the forthcoming recommendation is right, and makes all the sense in the world.
Do you have any language available immediately to you now regarding Saturday? How, when Amelia, crunched the numbers,
Yeah,
we weren't getting a good, you mentioned a really great word, a keyword, risk. So the risk of electronic voting, people not showing up and we fall below 100 is extremely low. But the risk of moving over to Saturday was a different
Yeah.
risk.
so just reading from Amelia's report, so the projected gain, moving town meeting to a Saturday yields a possible net gain in attendance of 4.29%. Risk assessment. The committee flagged this option as high risk. While there is potential gain, there is also an 11% potential loss of current regular attendees. So given the small net gain and logistical hurdles of aligning a Saturday meeting with the regional school district budget votes, this option presents significant challenges.
Wow, that's scary, 11% loss.
Well, as a
To
potential,
gain an
yeah,
extra
right.
4, yeah.
Right, and I think
Really
I
fascinating.
think we all last time we met felt pretty comfortable that not proceeding with Saturday voting, at least not at this time, in this situation.
Yeah, I think that's key is never.
It's not-
gonna say
right, it's not
never,
forever,
right?
but-
So,
But
that's
not in the
key.
foreseeable future, because this is what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
And it's a more convoluted process if,
Right.
if we do need to go to the other two towns, then I would, that would be a much,
Bigger
would
ask,
be
right?
a bigger ask, yeah.
Yeah.
Much more challenging.
So what you're suggesting, if we ended up with Saturday voting, Saturday meetings, we really couldn't implement until we could persuade the other 2 towns to do the same?
Right.
And there'd be a bylaw change, and
Right.
but above and beyond all that, there's, a small potential gain and a large
And a
potential
large
what
potential
risk.
loss.
So you sit there and say that, it doesn't make sense based on what the data is showing us.
So the deliberative sessions that we see all over New Hampshire, almost all of them are on Saturdays. They're all independent then. They're just operating on their own.
Well, New Hampshire's a different state, so.
No, I
I
understand.
mean, like,
I'm fascinated by
Right.
So the deliberative session, what I've learned by reading many of these is they
Sure.
have a town meeting to discuss what they want to put on the ballot.
Right.
And so it's kind of like a town meeting, but it's not final.
Like
It's
a
just-
town meeting to have a town meeting.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Understood.
Okay,
And I don't know if, I don't know what towns you're looking at, but perhaps they're not in a regional school district.
oh, good point.
Because it's the regional school
Maybe that
district,
point,
it's
yeah.
the agreement with the
Yeah,
other
Sure.
towns.
yeah. Can you imagine if we had an override request and we're on Saturdays and the other, actually wouldn't work.
Right,
We really have to be in unison making that colossal decision.
But
right,
we don't even get there because the numbers don't support it.
Right,
So like,
right.
having the discussion isn't even appropriate because we don't even have the support for
Yeah.
the,
Right.
Well,
even on the
Thank
base.
goodness then. Thank God we don't have overwhelming support for Saturday. And it's like, oh, but we can't implement it.
Right.
We would have to not recommend it to the class.
No.
I want to be clear, just because I know that there have been past things, right, where people say, oh, the town said no, so let's never visit it again. I want to be clear that this is a moment in time.
Snapshot, as you will.
400 people of
Right.
Right.
6,000
Right.
said this.
Right.
And so should there be an opportunity for others to look at it, by all means,
No,
sure,
of course, right.
absolutely.
Well, there is an evolution. We could do electronic voting and then in the next 50 years, Saturdays will come in. And then in the next 50 years also, we'll eventually do remote voting. It's an evolution. Where are we in history, in the history of Groveland?
Right.
It's-
Maybe your robot votes for you.
Yeah.
What's next on the agenda?
Really interesting. Okay, next on the agenda, we have electronic voting interview and information. So Jen, thank you for doing this
Yep.
amazing work.
So I spoke with two of the three companies. And I emailed with the third over the course of the past month. I spoke with Sean at Meridia. He did send us an updated quote. I believe it's the same quote we received before. It's just under $10,000 for the system.
That's the purchase.
Yeah, to rent one for one meeting would be $2,995. If we wanted to just rent one for a meeting to sample it and see if it's what we wanted to do.
And if we lease, does any of that 2,900 go towards the 10?
And that's why I did not want to do interviews by myself, because I don't think that way and I would never have asked that question.
Okay.
So we need to
That's
be
okay.
in a group if anybody else has.
That's all right.
Because that's the problem, is I ask the questions that I want the
Yeah.
answers to and then, so I have no idea.
That's okay.
Not a
Not a
clue.
problem.
No.
That's fine.
Fine. It's fine.
That's good enough. I mean,
And
Just in
the
case.
annual tech support training and software upgrades are an additional $995 a year. There is no annual cost. You don't have to do any of that. You could just buy the system for the $10,000 and be done. But if you wanted ongoing tech support training, software upgrades, $995 a year. We can use neighboring communities' devices if we needed to, and that was something that we had talked about back in that February meeting.
How many devices would we get?
This is for 200 devices, which I feel like
We're not anywhere near that.
I think we're okay. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, if we have a big override issue or,
Right.
something going on with the schools, then maybe we would want to talk to a neighboring town and,
Yeah.
get some equipment. We talked a little bit about these handheld devices. There is a slightly larger device coming this year, so it would not necessarily be this size. Then I spoke with Option Technologies. Their quote is $6,470 delivered, so there is a cost savings there. You can rent the system from them for only $1,195, so that's a lot less expensive. Their annual subscription, providing software upgrades, Zoom training, phone support is $495 a year. You can use devices from neighboring communities. He recommends renting from them so that they can be prepped and tested ahead of time. They also have Mass-based techs and they've got a warehouse in Natick, so they're more local. And he said their handheld device is made in the same manufacturing facility as Meridia's, this model. So they've got the pretty much identical device.
Are the models interchangeable?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
I didn't get that sense.
Did Georgetown use a Meridia?
Meridia
Yeah.
is what Georgetown uses. So Meridia seems to be the clear front runner in all the towns in Massachusetts. That's the results.
That was the first one that we
That
were
was,
talking about.
yeah, and that was, what did they say?
They said
So so in 2024, the Masstown Clerks Association surveyed all the communities to find out what systems they use. 25 out of the 39 responding communities used the Meridia.
Mhm.
7 out of the 39 used option. So
is there a third?
there is a third. It was Echo 360, and it's been a sort of an underwhelming response. And effective 2/1, they no longer do rentals and they do not offer any on-site support. That's virtual training only.
Yeah.
I'm a little less comfy with
What were
that.
their pricing numbers?
They were, let me find the original quote. They were option. No, that was all option. The Meridian Echo. So, and again, they were a little bit more à la carte. So based on purchasing for 200 attendees, it was about $7,000 for response card LCDs. Long range receiver was 650. Carrying cases totaled about 100. It was $398 for lanyards. And their annual subscription was another 2,400. So it was more than $10,000, and you're not gonna get any on-site support.
Okay.
Do any of the communities near us use the option?
I don't know who specifically uses option. I don't believe that I got that. Possibly if I look back at the old that survey that was done in 2024, I might be able to find a town or two that we could reach out to and ask more questions. How they are, what they think about it. I did get the reviews from other towns in general was that the feedback was that it's, great customer support, turnkey service. People were happy with them. I just
With
don't know how
Meridian?
close they are with option. Yeah,
Similar feedback for Meridian.
and for
Like,
Meridia as well, yeah,
Okay.
but there is definitely a price difference between the two. So hard
so
to
do
know.
you recommend Pepsi or Coke?
Hard to know, but money wise, I think, option sounds better because seems like it's a less expensive venture, but I don't
Was it
know, if
Meridia?
everybody's.
Everybody else
Shit,
uses
if
right,
everybody else is drinking Coke and using
Right.
Meridia,
and happy with it and all that sort of stuff.
right? But maybe that's, as people get further down this path, if we recommend it to the select board and people are interested in pursuing it, maybe then we,
Do a deeper dive.
do a deeper dive, delve into it a little bit more and, call some of these
And
towns.
they'll have to do their own due diligence also through through the procurement
However
process.
however it's gonna go.
We can almost make decisions without the financial as much,
Mhm.
bringing in the non-financial.
Do we think that in the aggregate, paying around 10 grand for the devices and
Mhm.
then what it was like 2,000 per year for support?
For Meridia.
For Meridia?
Like 20,000,
What did we
Closer
say,
to 3?
Meridia?
No, it was
That was just $995.
$995.
So
So 1,000 a year and then 10,000
10,000 up front,
investment.
like 1,000 a year.
Yeah,
and I guess
I mean-
that there must be some you don't have to answer the question, you don't have to know the answer, but there has to be some kind of overtime replacement of the units too, I think.
Yeah, I would think,
Thank you.
he did say, you can
People
buy.
drop them, they squeeze them,
Right,
they take them
right.
home, put them in the wash.
you start getting more people coming.
Sure, yeah,
Right.
that would be
And-
nice, wouldn't? Yeah.
So, your opinion,
Mhm.
now, your opinion, okay, thank you for the number. How do you feel about buying versus renting, coming out of the box?
I don't. I don't know. I mean, I feel like to give that a fair shot, you would have to rent from one year and then rent from the other the next year. There's a whole year in between there.
So we're evaluating the company, the
We're
support,
evaluating a lot.
we're
and
still
then we're
competing.
waiting a year.
yeah, right,
I don't know. I don't know how complicated this needs to get.
yeah.
And I feel like that might overcomplicate. And
Nope.
it's not that cheap to rent, really. I mean, it's $3,000. That's not nothing.
Right, you recoup the cost in 3.5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting, wow. Alyssa, any thoughts?
No, I think our role was to research options, so really appreciate Jim doing that. I think there's 3 great options. Love seeing that towns ahead of us have already done
Mm-hmm.
it, can provide great feedback. I mean, if it were me and me only, I'd say just go for it, you know,
Right.
not do the rental, but it's
Right.
not me.
I think I would echo that.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, the cost difference over the course of time, whatnot,
Sure.
I think you go with Coca-Cola and, you
Mhm.
know, and, I don't think it's worth a look based on the fact that we think we could get as much of as a 10% bump in people coming because they're,
Mhm.
you know, because maybe they have concerns about, you know, not wanting to make their neighbors angry about whatever's going
Sure.
on or things like that. And, you know, maybe that's the thing.
Mhm.
But I'm inclined to agree that, you know, over time that's not a lot of juice for
Right.
10%, for a 10% gain if you can get it.
Right.
Okay.
And one thing, I think it was the gentleman from Option, both super nice people.
Yeah.
The guy from Option, we were talking a little bit about the devices and maybe people who might have difficulty using such a small device or not being certain about it. He said what he's seen some towns do is sort of have a designated area where people can sit if they're not feeling confident in, you know, working with the technology. And then you can get, you know, high school kids doing community service hours on hand that night at the meeting to just sort of help people, you know,
Be
navigate,
comfortable and
manipulate
using.
it and navigate.
Nice.
Yeah. And this was Option. He said they do have a Braille device as well. So
Really
I
cool.
didn't get that from Meridia, but I spoke with Option second, so I haven't asked Meridia if they have one or not.
Very cool. All right. Next
So that's
agenda,
that.
any other thoughts on that? Next agenda item was the agenda item before this. I skipped Alyssa. So, Alyssa, the survey questions, I've read them. I think everybody else read them. This is the most recent update. So I don't know if you have any further comments. Love your survey. Thank you for letting us borrow your great ideas for the town. So town meeting survey questions, development rationale and distribution. I read them. I loved them. I thought,
Yeah, so what I wrote was,
yeah, version's wonderful.
was how we came to the questions that
Mhm.
everybody that filled out the survey saw. So, you know, essentially we came to our first meeting, we developed questions, you know, fairly fast, but you know, with the guiding principles of wanting neutral wording, accessibility, respectful tone, data quality, and making sure it was, you know, appropriate length. In my document to be part of the submitted report, you know, we went through each question and then underneath I put the rationale of why we included each question on the survey. And then noted that these questions were approved on August 13th. And then we went forward with distributing, we distributed online. The COA included it as part of their survey. Many of us took hand copies or hard copies and passed them out to people. We went to town events to hand them out to people. So hard copy online and flyers with a QR code. In person, and then yeah, then I just sort of put it all together for a conclusion. So it really was just how we came to the questions that were included in the survey and
Yeah.
yeah.
Any further comment or questions? Well
No.
done, Alyssa. Thank you. Great work. It's plus, I guess. Last, I'm sure I follow my own draft here. Okay, so the components of the report are basically, they've been written. I just need to collect them and I'll
Can give you, that's from my conversation, if you want to use any of that in the report.
yes, thank you. And I'll take whatever final information you have, but this is all I need. This is good enough.
Yeah.
This is fine. And then I'll summarize it. And I'll get the survey from Emilio along with the comments and I'll bring that all together. So, okay, so I don't have a deadline yet. I'm gonna try to get it done by middle of May at the end. And what I'll do is I think I don't know if we need to meet for that. Well, I guess we do need to meet. I'll have to send it to you and then we have to decide if that's the final draft we want to deliver.
Mhm.
So let me pull it together and then I'll solicit when we can meet.
Sure.
I think just, as like guidelines and whatnot, and,
Hmm.
in
Mhm.
my professional career, one of the things that I do is I try to write persuasive pieces for people who are trying to read things, right?
Yeah,
And sometimes less is more. In this situation, I think you could really boil down what we've come to just a couple of pages worth of information, right? The data supports, electronic voting. The data does not support trying to move the meeting to Saturday at this time.
Yep.
We have some data about what electronic reporting or what electronic
Right.
voting might look like
Mhm.
and the cost and those things. And we have data from the voting. And I mean, short of that, I don't know what else would really need to be in there
Yeah.
that's gonna help the decision makers make the decision.
Right.
We did some things that turned out not to be necessary, right? Like learning about bylaws, about the other stuff
Mhm.
that we're not recommending, so.
Right.
I would say less is more, and this could be like a 5-page thing,
Mhm.
No, I don't want you to take it in your hands and think of it as, you have to write the Magna Carta.
yeah, no, that's a really good point. I think I'll take that approach, because when I did the town meeting administrator position and worked with a team, and we worked on the town administrator bylaw, at the end of that exhaustive work, we had this big document, but the whole thing came together in a 2-page executive summary.
Nobody's gonna wanna read 80 pages.
And then if
of
anybody
data.
wants that, send me an email. I'll send it to you
Right.
separately.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
In the executive summary.
That's it's an executive summary.
Right.
If you really wanna, like, there might be a select board meeting, well, I wanna see the data. Oh, okay, fine, we'll email it separately.
Well, and I think frankly, based on how this is
Good idea.
gone, if, once you get everything done, if you want Alyssa to take a look and me to take a
Of
look,
course, yeah.
like, I think, she's really great really great at getting to the nub of something, and I think that's something that's probably pretty well in my.
Not
skill set.
unlike what we did with the
No,
town meeting.
100%.
Like, I did the rough draft, and then I
Mhm.
shared it, and then, of course, we do need to meet, so we're not violating open meeting law, so.
No, for sure. But if I think you can circulate a draft and we can
I
all
will.
make our comments and
We'll have it
then,
next week.
have,
I'm excited.
no, it's good.
It's all good.
It's good. It's all good work.
I
Thank you.
just wanted to note that this committee, as we see our charge, was issued for a 1-year period.
June.
And yeah, June 1st.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just wanted to. make
Yeah,
it clear.
we'll wrap it up by then. That's my goal.
I think that's very achievable.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm living in Groveland again. I've been caretaking my parents many miles from here. And I'm here a lot easier now for the spring and the summer, so I'll be around. We'll get together, and hopefully you guys will be available
Good.
when we can convene. Okay, last item on the agenda is a time frame for the initial recommendation. So tonight, I'm gonna make some initial recommendations. Please correct me, please guide me, but here's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna present a little bit of this information very lightly, how many people we had in the surveys, the fact that we've had successful interviews with 2 companies, the fact that we have a survey that shows data that supports electronic voting. So that's where our recommendation will come. We will deliver this in an executive summary report, not an exhaustive report. We will have backup data if you want to see the data, but we're going to present you with an executive summary that'll make a recommendation for electronic voting. We also will recommend, we can't recommend Saturday because the data doesn't support it. Also, implementing it after examination will be very difficult because we'd have to have all 2 towns,
I just
all 3 towns.
gonna push back. I really don't wanna say that we don't wanna do it because it's too difficult. I wanna say.
All right, I'll
as
make
the-
sure of that.
As the data says, it's not.
Right
not
now,
gonna
it
bump
doesn't.
us up right now.
But because, you're right, it could be
Yeah.
part of our future, and I'll make sure I couch my statement.
I think so. The
Yeah.
question was, is this working?
It is working.
Yeah, wonderful, thank you.
Thank you, Annie.
So I want to just ask you, and I'll, whatever the consent is, we don't have to vote on it, and I'll back down from it. But I need your opinion. I value your opinion. Should we recommend also that we're not going to implement anything till 2027? We do have 421 surveys. would it be so? Would it be helpful if we also put it on the ballot in a non-binding question? Just so we can get maybe more than 400 something respondents.
For me,
How do you feel?
I think we have blasted this thing for like 8 months and this is what we've gotten. And I don't think, additional blasting is gonna yield sufficient, I don't think the juice is worth the proverbial squeeze in this situation.
Meaning put it
I think it's okay to put it to bed for now, understanding that this isn't a forever anything, but right now the data says, and we all support, electronic voting as something new for the select board to explore, and we have some data about we have some help for what they can do. And then at this point, the data does not support changing the data of the town meeting.
Okay,
Full stop. It doesn't have to be bigger than that. There doesn't have to be the whys of it, because the whys of it is the people of town have spoken.
Mhm.
And, so that's, I
Yep.
mean,
Wise, what's the
Alyssa, how do you feel?
for next time when people wanna do a survey,
Mhm.
I wanna make sure that we as a group, we put in our time and effort into this committee, with an issue that the select board, put forth, and that should be worth something. And, yeah, people had the opportunity
Mhm.
to have their voice heard, and we heard from those who wanted their voice heard, and
Yep.
yeah. And that's all we were
and
charged
like
with.
Patrick said, 400 something people is not,
it's not
Not
insignificant.
nothing.
It's all, it's
pretty-
approaching 10% of the town. And I mean, so that's
that's pretty
a
cool.
real number, especially when you consider that's like 4 times what the showing is for a town meeting right
Sure.
now, so.
Okay.
If people are really bent out of shape about it, they'll start talking about it, and then maybe something will come downstream, but.
Okay.
I don't think having this thing take on a life of its own is, after we've done what we were charged to do, just like Alyssa said.
Jen?
I agree.
Okay, good. All right, I put it to bed, put it to rest. Won't bring it up. I have no interest in promoting anything other than what we've just consented to. So I appreciate that.
For sure.
All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for your working together, all of us. It's been fun. This has been a great committee assignment, even though it's not over. We're getting close.
It's close.
We're getting close.
Do we
Okay.
want to set a date now, or would we rather put a pin in it until we have a draft final report?
I'll probably have something seriously next week. March 30th, I'm gonna come back here because I do want to attend the select board meeting because they're gonna wrap things up, hopefully that night for what's gonna end up being on the town meeting.
Mhm.
So I'll be here at 6:30 just as a member, just to watch the meeting. So do we want to set an appointment, a meeting at 5:30 on that
I
night?
prefer not March 30th,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I'm trying to set a recreation committee meeting, and that's the sort of,
Okay,
Right.
that's the sort of dead in the spot where I really want to put it.
Yeah, Monday nights aren't great for me. The office is open till 6, so I don't have my phone with me either.
But once we have
We'll do it in May
the
then. Why don't we
document, like
just-
April, we could do.
Even mid-April.
Mid-April would probably be all right.
Like a Tuesday, Wednesday.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll give it, put out a date, what
Uh,
might work for you guys. I really am really available and flexible now. Sorry about the winter, it was a little tough.
I mean,
It's March.
Now, I'm gonna be away the week of let's see, from the 13th to the 19th, like right in the middle
Well,
of
that's
May.
good, because
So-
that's my birthday.
so for this particular meeting, we kind of worked together with the town clerk's office and with Annie and whatnot. We were able to sort of get this sort of on the fly.
Mhm.
I think it would probably be better to have document in hand or pretty close to in hand, and then go around, like do
Circulate
the
it.
same thing we did last time, because it
Mhm.
really worked out well, and this was a good, it worked for everybody.
Yeah.
And so I would rather do that than put something on the calendar right now.
Okay,
Okay,
I mean,
all right,
yeah,
makes sense.
it worked
Let's-
last time. and I
Let's
think
have
we should
something
work-
in hand.
And then we'll have something, I mean, really, you know, it can be we're finalizing what we weren't gonna submit to the select board, you know, because our recommendations are pretty clear.
Mhm.
So now it's just finalizing those recommendations.
Yeah, I did it with the bylaw. We were
Yeah.
circulating emails.
Yeah.
Without ever violating open meeting
No,
law.
agree.
Here's my draft. What do you think? What do you think? And whatever you think, wait until we meet.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
100%.
And that's how it worked. It makes for a high performance team.
Mhm.
Function, so. All right,
All right.
I've got my marching orders. I'm excited. I
Well, yeah.
gotta go back to work and actually do something.
You're starting in a few minutes back in the select board.
There you go.
Make a motion to
All right.
adjourn.
Are you doing
I'd
that?
love to.
Do I have a
can go get ready
second?
for the select
I
board
second
meeting.
that motion to adjourn the meeting.
Any discussion? None. Meeting is closed.
Well, we have to vote on it.
Oh, aye.
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 Okay,
Stop
unanimous.
recording.
The meeting is ended at 6:21 PM. Thank you,
Alright.
Groveland.
Stop recording.